the fact that there's so people that are so fucking detached from reality, and they have this very strange leftist Marxist philosophy that is so untenable with the reality of the world, and yet they're teaching kids this, and then they're talking about this openly in public forums, openly in social media, openly in protests. It's fucking strange. It's so strange that people don't understand. It's so dangerous. And for young people that admire those people, or that are being taught by those people and don't know any better, when that person's in a position of power and influence because they're discussing these things in classrooms or discussing these things on social media, I just don't understand it. I'm so confused. I never thought things would deteriorate this rapidly.
I'm disappointed, but I'm not confused. When you know the powers and the money that is being spent to try to destabilize America, when you look at our enemies, when you're looking at China, when you're looking at Russia, when you're looking at Iran, and the hundreds of millions of dollars they're spending in misinformation and disinformation, where they are perpetuating things that we 100% know to be not true, not factual, but they are very effectively. It's unnerving. Joseph Goebbels, the propaganda minister for Hitler, he had a playbook about how to spin truth and how to manipulate masses. How could you take what is a great, cool culture like the Germans were post-World War I, as they're trying to find their identity and they're trying to bounce back from a horrific war, and then by the mid-30s and late 30s, they're positioning to throw Jews into ghettos and then ultimately gas 6 million of them. How can that happen so fast? And you very quickly realize that it was an effective propaganda misinformation campaign where they were able to dehumanize and segregate certain aspects or ideas and then attach a name to those things and a face to those things and a people to those things. We saw it here during COVID, the unvaccinated.
Yeah.
And it happened fast. It happened in months. And the same way that police were demonized during the defund law enforcement and BLM movement. Now we know to be a complete hoax, a bunch of liars that manipulated truth and data and what really happened. And are there injustices? Absolutely. Are we a perfect nation? Totally not. Is law enforcement perfect? No, for sure. But by and large, the vast majority do want to do good. Like it says, protect and serve, and that's what they raise their hand to do. But they're being destroyed by this misinformation campaign, and Russia and China want it. They want us to be fighting each other. They want pro-Palestinian protests. They want pro-Hamas protests. They want from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. That is a call for genocide. They're calling for, so the river, the Jordan River, which is on the east side of all of Israel, the sea, the Mediterranean. In between those two things is where Israel lies, 7.4 million Jews. They want that to not exist. They want no Jews to be there. So every time that you hear from the river to the sea, it is a call for genocide or an expulsion of all Jews out of Israel. And that is the call of Hamas. And guess who's paying for that thing to be seen on Cornell and in Harvard and in that's right, Russia and China. They're being manipulated by a bunch of our enemies as they're trying to destabilize us in a region and here in the United States.
And it's a vulnerability that we have because of our freedom.
Yeah. Yeah, but man, I love freedom.
I love it.
I do.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
That's why I moved here.
I love the way that freedom would work was that there was an educated, empowered citizen that was individually responsible for themselves and their family. And they were in a position of authority over the government. That's how that document worked, our beautiful Bill of Rights and the Constitution. It was because of the power of the people. And over the past 50, 60 years, our people have become fat, gelatinous, complacent, uneducated, subscribe to propaganda, radicals, aligned with agendas that are not pro-America. And in the course of this time, it makes that document have no teeth, right? There's nothing behind it because the government used to be scared of the people because the people, when we decided to throw some tea in a harbor, and the shot heard around the world. We went after the people that were attacking us and that were controlling us, and we killed them and we pushed them off this land. And then we wrote these founding documents that said the individual is going to maintain the power, the people are going to have the power, but the only way that works is if the people have power. And we've let that go. Bit by bit, diet by diet, day by day, lack of exercising of our God-given rights. We are now just soft. It's one of the reasons when I was kicking around with you, like, hey, do we really want to talk about this? This is tough. Like, I have 25 pages of notes here about the Middle East conflict. But ultimately, I'm scared that can happen here because we are so vulnerable right now as people. And it's the reason that Sheepdog Response exists. My company is to train the American individual to take their own security, to preserve and protect human life and be able to provide for the family. That's the mission statement. But right now, I don't know what percentage of Americans are capable of doing that. Like,
it's a very small number.
Very small.
Yeah, frighteningly small. And it's being discussed as if somehow or another that small number is a strength, that we are in somehow or another a more kind and a more equitable nation because people are so soft, because people are so, I don't know how you have those two, how do you have such freedom that allows people to have these protests, that allows people to have these differing perspectives and to speak about it openly and publicly, but yet still maintain the strength of the union when you have all of these external factors, all of these different countries and different organizations that are working to try to use propaganda and use money to destroy us.
Yeah.
Because that's really what's happening. And that's like, that used to be like, if you said there's people out there that are trying to destroy America, oh, you're some crazy right-wing fucking alt-right. But God damn it, how much information do you have to see? How much truth do you have to see that you cannot deny?
Yeah.
That's in front
Russian
of your face?
interference into the election.
Yeah.
Bold-faced lie. They weren't interfering. They're perpetuating that they were interfering, but they weren't interfering. That Trump was being influenced